Here we go. Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic non-classics. Okay, so this is episode number 3159. Yeah, 59 in Doubleshot 3053. First we have is the Complete Witchblade Volume 2. And this contains issues from Witchblade Volume 1, issues 20 to 36, along with, it also contains, let's see, Tales of Witchblade 4th Way, which I do know is one more issue for this one, not the end of the series. Witchblade Infinity One Shot, Witchblade Says Darkness Half and number 1. Darkness Witchblade number 1, and Darkness number 28. So I have to go in the back basically find your creative team for these books, because back at the trade here is where they list off here for some reason. I'm not sure why. So for the Witchblade issues, we have mostly put David Wall and Christina Z on the, and Michael Turner on the plot and scripting. Pencils, Michael Turner does pretty much a lot of the pencils here, with Clarice Lasing, and that's pretty much mostly your creative team throughout the Witchblade issues. They have Randy Green films some of the issues later on. Michael Turner's do a lot of the issues, but I think after a while he stops doing it. And Christina Z takes over the book. And then for Tales of Witchblade, the first issue was done by Warren Ellis, and Billy Tan does the artwork for the issue 1. Issue 4. 5 is Christina Z and David Warhol. Richard Bennett, the pencils inking. Issue 6 is basically Clarice Lasing, Cedric Nelson, Randy Green, Billy Tan, Dan Farega, and David Finch does the star for this one. Yep. Issue 7 is basically the story is Michael Turner and Bill O'Neill with Kristen Zellen, Ken Cha, Clarice Lasing on the pencils. For issue 8 of Tales of Witchblade, Michael Turner and Bill O'Neill, with Christians are on the arc. Now, the main issues themselves were published from February of 1988, and the last issue in this book came out in December 1999. So basically, with this book, we're kind of out of 1980s. This one. So, and Tales of the Witchblade is most of it just tales about like the past version of past hosts of the Witchblade, the Gauntlet. That's kind of what happens. Is basically told from this perspective. We have supposedly it looks like the Darkness. I think it's like Jackie. I think it's you have before Sarah took over as the host of the Darkness, not Darkness, of the Witchblade, and this tales of the past. I'm to issue 20. Now, a lot of these issues is simply showing Sarah either having sex with Jackie. He's the one who solves Darkness. Yes, and of course, basically because 90s, we have love or 2-page spreads, and it feels oh yeah, he is the Darkness, and so a lot of it's basically now the OP doesn't do a lot here per se until much later on. A lot of gangster stuff. At some point, see the Darkness. I think in his main book, where he's like sleeping with various different women. I think in this book, we also get experience one of these issues by She, who is a Billy Tan character, who is a woman who basically is an assassin, who is just basically independent version of Elektra from our comic. That's kind of what she is. So, and the whole thing is basically showing what questions about the Witchblade itself. Early on, it seemed like that basically that Michael Turner basically looked like he had good control over the artwork, because the artwork of this book is fantastic. That's one thing Image basically was known for: good artwork over storytelling. I'd say that of writing wise, I'd say Spawn had really good writing. This book definitely. At first it was a bit slow, but then it gets better with this here. So I would just progress in the story for a bit. And of course, Jackie not only sleeps with Sarah at the start, he also sleeps with a few different women throughout this book. Of course, Sarah doesn't know. Excuse me. Yeah. And a lot of this is basically not much about the at some point when you see the Witchblade, it's not like covering her whole arm. It's like sometimes basically it's drawn like it's like a wristwatch. Sometimes it's basically like a symbol in her hand. That's kind of how the artist basically draws in here. Later on, they stick with the wristwatch thing before they become the Darkness, which has her shed her clothing to have the armor cover her naughty bits. It's just a piece of armor. And they throw in the Tales of Witchblade issues because my guess is they threw these issues in here because it's Witchblade. It's part of the main series. And mostly put just to tell his backstory. You have Jackie nearly being consumed by his own thing he's a host to. And they do throw one issue of the Darkness in here, which is interesting. The half issue is just a team up between Darkness and Witchblade. Taking some monster. We usually see the Darkness basically full armor. In this book here, yeah, that's what Darkness looks like. That's Jackie. His name is Jackie Esposito. That's his name. And yeah, lots of like side stuff here. And at one point you see like this. See basically like this woman who's topless. Who's sometimes like, ooh, can I come in the pool? I was like, hey. Yeah. And then she takes her bottom and then just hops in a little hot spring with her. And of course Sarah has to deal with basically various stuff here at the police warrant. And of course, basically, she thinks it's basically sent by this person. He's like of these games. Oh. He's like, Mrs. to me, Mr. Do. You're obstructing the law. I don't care if your whole team is watching. I'm gonna twist that neck of yours off if you don't tell. What? I'm going to see her father, and then she just leaves. Yeah. It's like some gangsters will interfere basically police work, and of course Sarah's politely telling him, stop interfering in police work. He's like, oh, I didn't send them. They work for you. You probably sent them. Yeah. And then we have this blonde guy basically nearly trying to strangle Julie. But look how she's saved by Jackie. And then Sarah puts on this nice skimpy outfit with a silencer to basically fight whatever this is. And her transforming into the Witchblade. We have more stuff with Witchblade past here with issue number... This is issue number 6. Yeah, I think next complete collection, I think we'll collect the last Tales of Witchblade book. Mm-hmm. We went Witchblade 26, which has, well, this. It's like, oh, I guess Michael Turner must told him, hey, show off basically my character's rear end of the cover. I'm sure he probably told him that, but here's the thing. I can't ask Michael Turner about that because he sadly passed away. I can ask Mark Silvestri about it if I get a chance to see him again. I've seen him once at Comic-Con. Yes, I almost got a autograph from him, but I couldn't because for some reason they're about to. Some people are doing an interview with him. Like, wait, I'm at his table. Like, I should have asked him this. And I thought about this since then. I should have this. Hey, did you guys hit record yet? No? Then I would like him to autograph my book. Simple as that. Or I can simply just ask him a question. Simple. But nope, I couldn't because these guys were being a tad bit rude to me. Because I wanted to get a book. I wanted to get I had a Witchblade book I brought from the sign because he created Witchblade. I figured he'd be happy to sign it because he was charged Hopcow at that point. He wasn't necessarily writing Witchblade at that point in time, but I'm sure he'd probably be happy to sign it. So, of course, they do the whole undercover, and of course, basically, you wonder when did she show up in here? Well, we might get to her. Yeah, helping out some other person. Of course, see this guy, this. Hello, Joe. Time to talk. Yes. So, it's somebody from her past. And I believe it was here Witchblade when she shows up. And of course, we have this woman who it's like goes, and Jackie basically wakes up, and then of course we have a guy in a Gimp mask. Moving 28, we continue with this too. This book is very serialized. Like torturing is like. And apparently the reason why she came because she's loyal to her employers. Like, really? Yep. Yeah. Hang out, books on at church. Yeah, and of course, someone with her captain. Then we see Jackie taking a. I think it's not Jackie. Somebody else. Like, ooh, more stuff here, and then we have a woman basically being kidnapped. And of course, they beat people up, shattering glass. Now, I remember it was this book or it was Darkness. One of these two books, we actually had she show up. SHI. She's a character Billy Tan created, and he does own the character. Yeah, we see him basically just have sex with another woman. And is this she? Don't know yet. No, I don't think she is. No, it's just another woman. Yep. And then, of course, she finds out Joe actually killed her father, but spares him. Let's go to jail for what he did. More Tales Witchblade stuff. This time in Egypt. I like the fact that we're allowed basically them to do this with Witchblade. Just have this book to tell the past of Witchblade, which is really cool. And we're not done yet. No, we still got a lot to go. In this Infinity one shot where we have this woman showing her backside with a scorpion tattoo. We have a bunch of topless women here. I can't exactly show it because basically a bunch of women. There's lots of whipping going on here. This comic is very, very adult. This issue in particular. Yeah. The book ends with basically her in the Witchblade attire, and then we move on to the main book. If I get a chance to see, I will show her off. Yes. So you have more fighting here. You gotta read the dialogue basically to understand what the heck is going on in this book. We have more S&M some S&M stuff here. Sarah, a date with Jackie. More weird occult stuff. Oh yeah, the Witchblade goes on its own, really weird. And then we see like, ooh, let's have this girl just take off her clothes for a camera, and then we have the girl smooch Sarah. Yeah, it's odd. It doesn't go anywhere at all. No, Sarah is not lesbian. No, she's completely straight. Yes, it's the one who proved to succeed her as Witchblade. She is an open lesbian. Here's Aviation 100. We have past like some archery stuff. Here with Sarah's past. Put some Witchblade attire. Excuse me. More kicking butt. We got some politician. It's basically like no crime, but I'm sure he's probably on the take. Oh, it's the last issue of this book. Oh, and here she is. Here is she. Yep, that is her. Oh my gosh, yes, that is definitely her. Well, I think it's her. Yeah, I think it's her. It is quite surprising. I thought it was her. It just looks like her. Just the red outfit and the makeup face. And no, it's not a stereotype thing. It just basically looks like we have this girl who just, with this blonde guy. I don't remember who this guy is. Don't name him. It's like, ooh, let's have them basically have sex. And then more stuff happens. Then apparently, like, the FBI comes in. Yes, the FBI comes in basically because of the Supernatural division. And we have stuff. And we have stuff with Witchblade Darkness #1. This one shot. Yes, it's a one shot. Yes, more stuff explained with the Darkness stuff, which continued from the Witchblade issue, and then move on to the opposite one. What's doing in here too, and excuse me. I think his cover here. Which, of course, I cannot turn aside for some reason. Yeah. Just Darkness full swing. Of course, you have them fight each other. And then they just randomly threw in the Darkness issue because it crossed it with Darkness. This whole ceremony, which continued in Darkness 28. It is quite interesting, and the book wraps up right there with this one issue. And that's it. Yeah, for a Witchblade book, it's pretty good. Yep. So yeah, we're not done just yet. So next up, I give that roughly 8 out of 10. Next up we have is the spin-off book, The Complete Darkness Volume 1. And in these very issues, this book covers issues, 0 through, I think basically is on here. Okay, it's the first 18 issues of The Darkness, Tales of the for which that's not a whole book, and issues 1.5. Darkness Prelude, Witchblade 10, 18. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So, in these main issues themselves, basically we have most of the focus on Jackie Escao. I thought this was my mistake about that. So, your creative team for these issues. For the Darkness. This is interesting. So, the opening issue of Darkness are done by Garth Ennis. And he does the first 6 issues. 7 is basically David Woodhull, Christina Z. 8 is done by same writers. And basically, they're basically the writers of this book. Even the crossover with Witchblade, which is discussed already in their book. Then Garth Ennis comes back to book issue 11 with Mike Coney on the co-artwork here, co-writing duties here, for about 3 issues. And then with Tales of Darkness, it's basically Mike Coney and Brian Herberlin with Watch Pacino on the artwork. Those who are familiar with this guy, this is the guy who created Lady Death, the independent character. Mike Coney does pretty much the writing here for issue 15 for the main book. Then pretty much basically it's like the same about a lot of the remaining issues of this book. So in these early issues here, we debuted 2 major characters who are heavily part of the Top Cow universe. That being the Angelus in issue 2 and the Magnus. Yes, two Pacific Topic characters who actually got their own spin-off books. Yes, Mark Silvestri playing now ahead for these characters. The Magkana debuted in issue number 15, Wields the Spear of Destiny. And there's also, let's see, I just said her. The Angelus herself basically debuted issue number 2. Yes. There's also other characters part of this universe. There is Aphrodite 9, who is not in this book. There is also Cyberforce. This is a book that started off, which I discussed already. This is the book that started Dave Finch's career. And Codename Strike Force, which is basically a regular Image book that was published on Top Cow. But mostly put, in the case of Top Cow, Witchblade is by far the most popular character. Oh, and here's the thing about the universe of Top Cow. It not only includes the Witchblade, the Darkness, Magkana, and the Angelus. It also includes a version of Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Yeah, she's canon in this universe. Angelus herself, she just had basically a quick mini-series. Cyberforce had many books, probably one of the most famous ones like Witchblade and Darkness. Darkness, of course, many books. This book only covers the first 18 issues of the run. The original run itself was like 16 issues ish. This had a few books, mostly put just quick books. Like the last book came out just about 6 years ago, and there's also various crossovers with Dynamite. This character had, and also this company, probably its most best-selling book, Sunstone. Yep, last one came out a few years ago. Yeah, but Witchblade, one of the more popular characters. Yes. So, in these issues, we found a little more about Darkness himself. Actually, we get a little bit backstory here. A lot of this book is to put Jackie himself, basically, with various different women. One point in the book, we actually find out if he gets a woman pregnant, he dies. Yes, seriously. That is a plot point here. But it's like exploring his life and how much a complete gentleman he is. Despite him being you see him as sort of a cruel person, but he's a complete gentleman. Yes. That's one thing unique about the character. And he's probably by far, probably the second most popular, probably the second best character of the entire Top Cow universe. Because he's just interesting. And if you're really curious, did this book suffer the same publication issues as the Witchblade book? I don't think it did, per se. Now, as for the time period when issues came out, for The Darkness, it basically started out, the previous issue came out in July of 1986. The main issue was published in December 1986. And you're probably thinking, this book's over the same issues? Same publication issues? Let's see. Yes, it did. It published issues, well, it actually skipped some months because that's what Image did. But mostly put, it went until from December 1986 to the last issue coming out in November of 1998. They skipped months? Oh, heck yes, they did. These months they skipped for the year of 1997. They skipped over February, April. That was consistent from issues 4 through 7. Those published consistently. It also skipped over the month, not only February and April, it also did the month of December. And then for some reason, okay, they published one issue, and it basically was fine for the rest of the year. Basically missing 3, so 9 issues in 1 year, not bad. Not 9 in a row per se. And then started off the year 1998. Was the book published basically at the consistent rate? Well, not really. After 5 issues, they skipped the month of May and resumed the month of June. And they were there for June, July. They skipped the month of August. They did September. They skipped October. And yeah. So a few months they skipped over. But it's Image Comics. They're basically like that's one of the big issue for Image. I mean, Spawn didn't necessarily have this big issue. From what I can tell, Savage Dragon had a big issue. The only comic they consistently published for a long period of time that had this issue where they kept skip months was Witchblade. Despite how brilliant the book was, it just couldn't keep a good schedule. But this book itself was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I gave The Darkness, the Complete Darkness Book 1, a 9 out of 10. I actually enjoyed this book a little more than I did the main book because this book more expanded upon the universe of the Witchblade stuff. Yes. So, I just recommend checking the book out because the book is just quite interesting. A friend of mine got me into this book purely because he enjoyed it, and it was my friend Edgar. He got me into this book and Witchblade, so I checked it out and I really enjoyed it. Darkness is surprisingly one of 2 books published by Top Cow. Well, I can tell they have over 100 issues published. Yes, the other being Witchblade because, and look how basically it was published for Top Cow. And if I could tell, this is mostly consistent. No other comic aside from these 2 ever had issues lasting 100 issues. Yeah. It is shocking. The fact that it's like that. You're like, really? Oh, yeah, really. Because it's kind of a weird thing that these 2 books are the only one have that long period of publication schedule. Yeah. But this original run for The Darkness lasts for 40 issues from restarted. It would get basically resumed to issue 75, and it lasted for another few years before ending. And this book mostly would contain the Tales of Darkness. The Tales of Darkness that's in here, it's unlike in the case of Witchblade, which of course taken 3 books to collect the whole thing. Tales of Darkness actually was collected all as one book. So my guess is for if there's any more books, it probably contained the one-shots and maybe mini-series for The Darkness. Yep. Oh, and by the way, this book itself, because it covers 18 issues for the original trade collection, It covered about three books: Coming of Age, Heart of Darkness, and Spear of Destiny. Yep, that's kind of what this book covered. You might think, is this book a compendium? No, it's just basically a complete collection. Yep, but yeah, that's particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. So, I thought I would time watch Case Close today. It's almost midnight, so I'm going to have to call it night. Okay, next view. Bye.